Hi, Naomi Suzanne from Naomi's Home Health. How can you tell if you have a good practitioner to help you with your thyroid health? Now, the first thing is, are they just focusing on thyroid health? If you have a practitioner that is only focusing on the thyroid, they're going to miss so many key elements of your healing. You want somebody who's going to help you heal your whole body at a holistic, integrated level where you can, start focusing on all parts of your body, all elements of healing, not just blood tests, not just any results or anything like that, or how much weight you're gaining. We all know that we're gaining weight. We don't need to be weighed every time we go to a specialist. So I've been to loads and loads of specialists like endocrinologists, GPs, natural therapists, all kinds of practitioners, healers, and many of them had their benefits. But what I noticed was specialists and GPs focus on thyroid and they focus on bloods and giving you medicine. That's it. There's no other aspect of healing whatsoever in the medical realm. When I went to some of the natural healers and practitioners, it was based on thyroid and gut health. And those are important, but for me, the ones that helped me the most were the ones that looked at the liver and talked about the liver and started there. The liver is our main detoxification organ. So when we, eat anything or put anything in our body, or we process our hormones or detox our hormones or convert hormones, it happens in the liver. And then blood goes through there and we want the blood detoxed and cleansed and nutrients go through it, and the liver then decides what to send to the gut. So the focusing on the liver first and foremost is really important. So you want somebody who's going to understand the function of the liver. I do follow a lot of thyroid and autoimmune practitioners on, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. And I had one the other day that doesn't really even understand the function of the liver. So she mentioned that the liver, it's not like a sieve. It doesn't hold on to anything. It just filters everything out and everything goes through to the gut. So you've got to focus on the gut because it doesn't matter what happens in the liver, basically, in short terms. So I kind of thought, well, that's not one practitioner I want to go to, because your liver does hangs on to toxins. You can hang on to pharmaceuticals from years ago, drugs that you took years ago, if you did, I'm just saying. It can hang on to things because it doesn't want your body to be poisoned. It doesn't want toxic chemicals flooding your body at once. So it actually does hang on to things. And then sometimes if we put too much in and it just keeps hanging on and we're not filtering things properly and it starts to get sluggish, then our liver isn't working properly. So then if your liver's not working properly, you can work on the gut all you like, but anything you put into your body to work on the liver to work on the gut is going to go through the liver first. So if you're trying to use products or drinks or food, anything that you're trying to heal the gut with, it needs to go through the liver first. So I have also seen practitioners that recommend certain foods. Now, if they're not recommending food at all, a special, very clean diet, they're not anybody you should go near. But at the same time, there's a lot. So I had a practitioner who focused on like a lot of dairy, a lot of egg. I ended up gaining a lot of weight. It was meat and root vegetables and a little bit of fruit, only certain fruits. And there was no greens to alkalize my body. There was no greens to clean out my gut. There was too much dairy. I probably shouldn't be having dairy at all. So all these foods that were going into my body in excess amounts, I gained a lot of weight. My legs were very swollen. My feet were in pain. I had a lot of inflammation everywhere. I didn't even think I had ankles because my feet, like my toes, looked like little sausages. There was so much inflammation in my body from the diet she recommended me And when I kept on telling her my concerns and I wasn't feeling better, I'm feeling worse and I'm gaining weight, she's like, just keep going. Instead of saying, maybe this isn't right for you, maybe we need to change something. And then at the end of the time that we had together, she just completely blocked me. So basically, I can't help you. I'm just going to leave you in the state that you're in. That is not a good practitioner. And I paid her a bit of money for that too. So, you know, we really need to be mindful of what they are educating us on. We need someone who is going to educate us, because there's no point someone going, right, take this supplement, eat this, and off you go and do it. Just, we want to learn how our body works. We want to learn what foods are going to be great for our body, what practices, because if it's only food that they're focusing on as well, they're missing many links in the chain of healing. If they're not talking about reducing toxins, if they're not talking about reducing stress, emotional health, mental health, spiritual, all of those things, you know, we're an energetic being. We're not just a physical body. So if they're not talking about these things, you're going to have missing links in your healing. And you may progress, but you also may have massive dips and downturns, like we all do, because we all go through different cycles in our life. We go through different, you know, what we eat, what stresses we have, ages, health concerns, environmental factors. All of those things can affect our health. If we don't know how to manage the stress or manage the environmental factor, the toxin, if we don't know how to set up our house so we're not inhaling a lot of chemicals, then we're not going to heal. It's just going to be a continual cycle. So you can eat as good as you want, but without the rest of it, without the key ingredients, you're not going to get any better. So these are some little points to look at when you're looking at a practitioner or a program that somebody has for you. I know, you know, this other practitioner that I was sort of talking to was a big advocate on dairy, and she thinks that if you don't eat dairy, you're going to miss out on a lot of nutrients. But there is a lot of nutrients in plants that you can add if you can't have dairy. And I suggest everybody goes off dairy for at least 6 months to try and see where their body is. Because it's not a matter of, does it make you feel sick? Does it make you, you know, have issues or whatever? It's a matter of letting your liver have a break. Because regardless of what, you know, a little bit of science might say or whatever, dairy is full of hormones. Whether it's raw dairy, you know, the best produced straight from the cow dairy, it does have hormones from another animal. We don't have the same DNA, enzymes, chemical structure or anything that a cow has or another animal like a goat or whatever. So breast milk is made completely different to animal milk, and there's a reason for it, because that is what our body requires. When you are drinking milk from another animal or products from another animal, it doesn't mean it's going to replace what we should be having in breast milk. And yes, there might be a lot of nutrients in it, but doesn't mean it's good for us. The same as eggs, there's a lot of nutrients in eggs. But what does it do for our liver? What does it do for our gut? Just because something has a lot of nutrients, like liver, eating an animal's liver, it's the major detoxification organ of an animal, and we are eating it. So there are things to consider, you know, same as apple cider vinegar. Certain foods you really need to look at. If they're not whole fresh foods that you're getting recommended, I would really, and you know, chemical free and preservative free, I would really think twice and ask questions. Never be afraid to ask, why are you recommending that I eat dairy? Are there a lot of hormones in dairy? You know, because when we produce milk, we need hormones to produce that milk. So there is hormones in dairy. There is hormones in an egg. An egg is, you know, a lot of hormones from a chicken. So we're putting into that body, is it going to interrupt our own hormones? Is it going to have an effect on our health? What is it going to hurt you if you don't have them for a little while? Nothing's going to happen if you don't have egg or dairy. You're not missing out. There are a lot of foods that you can have, as long as you're eating whole fresh foods. Add in some avocado. It's full of nutrients. Add in some nuts if you can have nuts, seeds, lots of green veggies. Eat raw veggies. Hydration is important. If they're not talking about hydration, they don't understand the body. And I'm not talking just drinking water. I'm talking about hydrating at a cellular level and what sort of water you should be drinking. How do you hydrate your body? If they're not helping you with these things, please ask them questions, or find somebody who does do these things. Find somebody who is going to educate you on these things. Drop in the comments below if you have done programs where you have felt worse at the end, where you've spent a lot of money, if you feel like you've gained weight from it. I can tell you, there was 2 programs I did that I gained weight. There was and it was extremely difficult to get off. I don't even think I got all of it off in the end. All of these things that we desperately look at to try and help us, and they can make us worse. So have a look at what it is that you're doing, and is it overwhelming? Have they overwhelmed you with all the information? Because that's a form of stress. Are they focusing on weight loss? Another form of stress. Focusing on weight loss when you should be focusing on your health is a form of stress. Don't worry about the weight. That will happen when you become healthy and all those sorts of things. So focus on the body as a whole, not just the thyroid, not just the gut, but focusing on the body as a whole, as an energy as well. What we have and what we're surrounded by, everything is energy. Everything has a vibration. So if you are going to go and do this program that someone's brought out and it's just based on food, but you're still super stressed and you're angry or you're overwhelmed or any of those emotions, the food's going to really not do anything. And if you're not showing gratitude for your food, if you're not happy, smiling, laughing, enjoying the process of cooking, very tactile with your food, then you're going to miss out as well on a whole bunch of healing benefits. So drop in the comments what you think of what I've said. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear about, if you've had a practitioner where you thought, I don't really agree with this, because this is what we're here for, to learn, support, educate, but educate yourself. If they're not educating you, you're going to have to educate yourself as well. So let me know, drop in the comments what you think.